So many people call you the queen of motivation, and yet you say motivation is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. Motivation is garbage. And the reason why is it's never there when you need it.
Mm.
Like, I think one of my biggest messages, don't expect it to be easy. Why are you expecting to feel like going to the gym? Like, just because you bought a cute outfit, to go doesn't mean you're going to feel like going. And the mistake that I see everyone making over and over and over again is putting all your time and energy into planning for things and getting ready to do things and thinking about things, and then not understanding that the moment that it's time to do the thing, you're not going to feel like doing the thing.
Mm.
And so you're sitting around waiting for that moment to feel ready, to feel like it's perfect, to feel inspired. It's not coming. It's not coming. And just think about how liberating it is if you lived your life with the simple truth that I will never feel like doing the things I need to do, but I'm going to do them anyway. I am not going to be the kind of person that lets my insecurity or my mood in the moment or how I feel about something right now and all that stuff to override the actions that I need to take in order to become the kind of person that I'd like to become. And, this is one of the reasons why I am constantly showing the worst of what I'm dealing with and the worst of what it's like in day-to-day life, in my own life, to people. Because it may surprise you to hear I am not motivated. I'm very clear about what I want. I'm very clear about the actions I need to take. And I'm very clear that 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to want to do it. I don't spring out of bed like a chicken and then lace up my running shoes and then go for a run as if it's some sort of commercial. I drag myself out of bed when I don't feel like it. I go into that bathroom, brush my teeth. I gripe and groan the whole way to the closet where I pick out my tights that are laid on the floor. I even lay my exercise clothes out because I know I don't want to put them on because I don't want to exercise. But you know what? The insecure past me is not going to win because I'm not sitting around waiting to feel like this is going to be a good idea. When I wake up in southern Vermont and it's 50 degrees and raining on a January morning, first of all, I'm angry it's not snowing. But secondly, do I feel like going outside and taking the walk that I need to take? Of course not. But I do it anyway. And see, that's the difference. That's the difference between the old me and who I am today. Because the old me was full of excuses. Oh, it's raining. I'm not going. What are you going to melt? Give me a break. Oh, I'd rather, I feel like having a glass of wine. No, I got stuff I need to do. I used to be completely at the whim of my emotions. And right now, as you're listening, that's your problem. You know what you need to do. You do not feel like doing it. And, I get so frustrated because I think that word motivation is just thrown around like candy. And it's just become like people just pay lip service to it.
Mm.
And if you just flush down the toilet the belief that someday you'll feel ready to do the thing, you'd probably do the thing right now.
How do you, so you do it, you do the thing. How
Yep.
do you make habits stick, especially for people who have tried and failed over and over and over?
I give up the belief that it's going to be automatic. Like, I think all
Mhm.
this 21-day stuff is horseshit. Because and that's not even the research. Like, the research is the habit, quote, becomes something that's a pattern somewhere between like 9 days and 237 days. Habit formation is highly variable. It depends on the actual habit and it depends on the person. And so I think it's easier for me, this is just me personally. I think it's easier to presume that this stuff is never going to become automatically. I think it's easier to presume that I will never like getting out of bed. I will never greet the alarm at 5:15 like some songbird that is summoning me to a beautiful day, and that it's okay. And I instead, Jamie, set up tricks and traps to make it easier to not opt out. So I'll give you some examples. When I wake up in the morning, my phone is in the bathroom and the alarm is going off on my phone. Why? Because I don't feel like getting out of bed. But now I don't have a choice because I set a trap for the worst parts of me. The phone is in the bathroom. To get the alarm off, I have to get out of bed. There's an example of making change stick. I'm not relying on emotion and willpower. I've set a trap to make it happen. When I walk into my closet, my clothes are already laid out. Why? Because that's what's called an environmental trigger. First of all, I've just made it easier. I've taken one step out, and now I've got a visual reminder. Oh yeah, here we go. No matter what you feel like putting on, this is what you need to put on. When I get into the kitchen, right in front of the coffee maker, I used to be the kind of person that would roll out of bed and I would army crawl my way right to that coffee maker, tap suck that sucker, get the caffeine in. Now that I understand the research, I don't do that for an hour or two. So what's sitting right in front of the coffee maker, because that's where I will go, is my water bottle already filled up and all of the supplements I need to take. Why? Because it is a visual reminder and it is one step taken so that I can make it stick. And see, I believe that most change doesn't stick. And we are being sold a fairy tale to think that you can make it stick. The only way you make change stick is by doing it. And if you accept the premise that I am here to offer, that some old version of you is always going to be right there in the moment, and you are going to have to make that new change stick, then you're not going to fall into the trap of presuming that there's some shortcut, some this, some that, some other thing, because you can put up all the Post-it notes in the world. You can put your phone in the bathroom and set the alarm so you have to turn it off. But if you're not willing to do the hard stuff, if you're not willing to push yourself, Jamie, through the excuses, a lot of you will just climb right back in bed with your phone and spend the next hour scrolling. A lot of you will push that coffee maker to the side or that water bottle to the side and make a cup of coffee. A lot of you will see the tights on the floor and notice that it's cold outside and be like, me, not today. I don't feel like it. Okay. Your life. You get to choose. Just don't bitch about it when you don't have what you want because you're not willing to do the work.
I
told you I was a lot meaner than you are. Jamie will tell you she believes in you, and I'll be like, prove it. You want to know when a habit's really easy to make stick, Jamie? When you like it. I could make it a habit real fast of eating ice cream every day after
Me too.
dinner
I have
because
that
I like
habit.
it. Yeah, because I like it.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's fascinating about how different types of habits can take a different number of days, according to the research, to stick.
Yeah, and that was a research study that was done where they were looking at habit formation, and the habit that they were trying to make automatic was the habit of taking a 10-minute walk after dinner. So on its face, not a difficult habit, right? But in terms of the research study, when it became automatic, and when you look at the research, what automatic means is that you don't feel resistance to doing it. Like I have zero resistance to making an ice cream sundae. Just freaking love that stuff, right? I have a lot of resistance to exercising on a day that I have to lift weights. And so they're looking at how long in terms of trying to repeat something
Yes.
before you stop dreading it. And the other thing that's very interesting, I don't remember the name of the part of the brain, but there's a lot of really interesting research around willpower where they look at a part of your brain, and I don't remember the name of it. It's both on the left and right hand side of your brain, but it is the part of the brain that grows when you do something that you don't feel like doing. So I'm going to say it again. It's the part of your brain that grows when you do things that you don't feel like doing. So that might mean that you're somebody that is a writer, and every time you sit down and you make yourself write when you don't feel like it, that part of your brain actually grows. When you step in the cold plunge when you don't feel like it, that part of your brain grows. But it only grows when you're doing things you don't want to do. And what's fascinating about this, and this is fairly new research, I heard Huberman talking about it the other day, and I can't remember the name. I believe it's a female neuroscientist that's doing the research around this, that when they look at people that live very long lives, that part of the brain is larger. And so they now are starting to believe that it's not really about willpower, it's about the will to live. And forcing yourself through that resistance to try new things, to do things that you don't feel like, to push yourself, that is tied to you living a long and amazing life. And it makes sense because human beings are designed in every aspect to grow. And if you turn inward and you say to yourself, what are the things that I want to outgrow in myself? What are the things that I really want to learn or that I've been afraid to do? Or what is something that I could do today that I don't feel like doing? That singular commitment to yourself, to just push yourself to do something that feels hard, that has a material impact on who you are as a person. And what the science says is it has an impact on how long you live.
With habits to stick, I want to make sure I understand this right for everyone listening, because sometimes people go, oh, I heard it takes this long for a habit to stick, and then they don't know why it hasn't stuck for them. And the example that you explained about the definition of how, when do you get to that point where there's no more resistance, right? So it makes perfect sense that if we want a new habit, that we actually like, and let's
Right.
say we love doing a morning walk, well,
Right.
it might stick sooner
Yes.
than something that may take a very long time because you have a lot of resistance toward it.
Yeah.
So to be patient with yourself.
Yes. And
Yeah.
a couple other things, because
Big.
I can give you the research around how to accelerate the feeling that it's not that hard anymore. Because if you really think about what a
Okay,
habit
tell
is,
me more.
yeah, because
I've got some habits to break.
well, we're not robots,
Yeah.
and I think a lot about habits as just patterns
Mhm.
that you repeat. That's what a habit is. And right now, you have a habit of, for example, when you pull your pants on, what leg do you put in your pants first?
Mhm.
You have to stop and
Right.
think about it, right?
Mhm.
Why? Because you've actually automated that pattern. Now, when you're teaching one of your kids how to do it right now, it's tedious because they're having to train their right or left foot, whatever the pattern ends up being, and the motor pattern of doing that until they learn it so that they don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to think about operating my coffee machine. I know how to do it without thinking about it. I don't have to think about brushing my teeth. I know how to do it without thinking about it. There's a lot of thinking involved with getting to the gym. Do you notice that?
Mhm.
Because you have certain
Mhm.
feelings about it.
Mhm.
I don't ever roll up to my bathroom counter and go, I don't feel like brushing my teeth this morning.
Mhm.
I just do it.
Mhm.
And so I want you to really simplify what it means to create a habit. It means that you have trained your mind, body, and spirit that this is a pattern that we do,
Mm.
and that you don't throw an adult temper tantrum about doing it. That's it. And so when we're talking about making it stick, what you're actually talking about is teaching your body that this is something that we do, and we don't throw temper tantrums around it. We just do it. And even if I'm
Mm.
kind of tired this morning, I'm still going to brush my teeth because it's a pattern that I do. So that's really what we're talking about. Okay. And so there are a couple things that make it easier. First of all, let's go back to some of the rules that I've taught you. Human beings only do the things that they feel like doing. And if you are constantly resisting a new pattern of behavior, you have to look at, why do you want this pattern of behavior? If you are trying to get to the gym because you think you should, you never will. There's a lot of research about goals, and why you have a goal is one of the foundational indicators of whether or not you will actually achieve it. And too many of you are thinking that you should do certain things, but you don't have a clue why you want it. See, one of the reasons why I exercise every day, Jamie, is not so that I look good in a bathing suit. It is not so that I weigh a certain thing. The reason why I exercise every single day is because I want to live a very long and a very vibrant life. And I know that what I do right now at 55 will determine, most likely, whether or not at the age of 90, I can pick up my own carry-on suitcase and put it in the overhead bin on an airplane. It will determine whether or not I am the kind of grandparent that can boogie down at a wedding of one of my grandkids. It will determine how long I am able to climb up in the mountains where I live in southern Vermont. And I care about that. And I also care about showing up in the work that I do and showing up with the people that I have in my life and being as present and as focused and as curious and as smart as I possibly can be. And so I understand the direct impact that resistance training and taking a walk outside and taking care of my health will have on the kind of life I want. And that's something that will lower the resistance that you feel, because the reason is bigger than the bullshit in the moment. The second thing that you can do is ask yourself, once you know why you want the habit, because again, if you don't really want to lose weight, like there's a lot of you out there that keep going, oh, I really love to have bikini abs and all this bullshit. I'm not willing to do the work. So I really don't want it that bad, do I? So why keep torturing myself? I don't give a shit about flat abs. I don't give a shit that my butt looks like a pancake, when I'm walking around. I don't care, because that's not going to impact what I care about. If you really care about having a bubble butt, then get clear about it and prove it. And so step one, figure out why it matters to you. And it's got to be deeply personal, not a should, it's a want. Second thing, ask yourself, how do I make this easier? How can I make this easier? Could you play music that you like? Like, one thing that made exercise super easy for me. Ready? On Sunday nights, Jamie, I go through, this is so dumb, but this is literally a game changer. I take the time, it usually takes about a half an hour, believe it or not, to figure out what my workouts are going to be for the week. Because I started to realize, okay, I was getting my tights on and I was getting myself to our gym at the house. But when I got up there, I'd be like, okay, what am I going to do? Should I get on the treadmill today? Should I stream something? Should I jump on this? And it was in the like, what should I do? That I literally lost motivation. And I'd futz around up there, and then I'd be looking at social media because I'm trying to find something to stream. Have not made it easier for me. So now that I'm like, on Monday, I'm doing this. On Tuesday, I'm doing that. On Wednesday, I'm doing this. On Thursday, I'm taking the dogs here. It's planned. And that works for me. So Post-it notes. How can you make it easier for you? Do not, in any behavior change, do not manage this shit in your head. You will lose. Write it down on a Post-it note. Stick it in front of your face, on your computer. Set an alarm in your phone. You are a busy human being with a lot going on. You cannot manage the stuff in your mind. You will forget. You will forget.
So for everyone listening, right? So many of us, we have a goal. They've already given up on their goals, and it's,
I'm going to tell you why. You don't understand why you want it.
So number one, know why you want it with clarity. Number two, make it easy. Make it easy. And then three, don't manage it in your head.
Yes.
Don't manage it in your head.
And then number four, and this is huge. You have to celebrate the thing that you did that day. So I don't ever leave the gym without high-fiving the mirror. Because the fact that I actually got there is a big deal. I don't ever kind of finish I drink like 8 cups of water a day, and I do it in kind of one of those big kind of adult sippy cup water covers. When I finish, I'm like, good job. Like you need to high-five your way forward, because that little bit of praise seals the cycle. And, we can dig deeper into the science, but really, you got to count the wins. You have to. Otherwise, you are not going to continue to feel like you want to do it. You got to be your own cheering squad. Like we put too much praise, or we put too much weight in other people celebrating what we're doing. They can't even celebrate themselves. So they're not going to celebrate you in most cases. And when you need celebration is not when you lose the weight. It's not when you land the job. It's when every single day you sit down for what I call the hot 15, and you spend 15 minutes doing the thing you don't want to do, sending the resume. You got one resume out today, celebrate that. Celebrate it for real. Because I know how hard that was. And the celebration can just be like, good job. All right, let's go do something else.
Mel Robbins is the host of one of the top-ranked podcasts in the world. Her books on finding motivation and success have sold millions of copies.
One of the most trusted experts in the world on confidence.
And she's written 3 best-selling books.
New York Times best-selling author and host of the Mel Robbins podcast.
Life coach and motivational speaker.
A friend who we are so proud of all you have built and done, Mel.